welcome to Ask Win, everyone. And what I'm going to do is you get 2 for the price 1 today. You actually get me included in all this mess. I shouldn't call it a mess. It's a lovely book, but I'm going to let Haley and Albert take it away and explain more of what they do, and I'll jump in when they need me to.
Hi. So today we're talking about our book. Our book is called Literally Lost, and it is a resource guide for writers, and it kind of takes you through the whole process from the beginning of your career, when you're just trying to get out there in the freelance market and you're trying to build your web presence. And then it kind of takes you through all the steps with resources and then explains how to use those resources. We touch base on where to find the best paying jobs as far as the freelance market goes, using social media to your benefit. There are other guidebooks out there, but this is kind of the first of its kind where it takes you through everything. And it goes over the different kinds of publishing and what your options are, kind of what's reputable to use and what's not. There's so much information and so many resources. When we first got started, we realized that there were so many freelance writers out there that just were struggling. And we started looking at what resources those writers were using, and they're kind of flooding the same few platforms and same few markets. And there are so many resources available to really help you find that success that just weren't being used. And we don't want to see these young writers fail. So we just took a whole year and put together a research team, and we researched everything we could think of. And what we've come up with is just a huge book of really incredible resources for these writers to go to and to reference. And hopefully it's going to make a big difference.
You know, Haley and Elba knows this. I am a writer myself, so I wish I had the yellow pages of writing. I'll just call it the yellow pages of writing because it took a whole year. And so I wish I had the yellow pages of writing back when I started in 2010. I didn't know what the heck Create Space was. I didn't know what the heck Create Space was. I knew about editors, but honestly, that was it.
Right. And that's kind of where we were, and that's really where this kind of came from, was just we were talking about our experiences, and it doesn't seem to matter how much college people have taken and, you know, how extensive their education is. When you really throw yourself out there, you're just lost, and it's so easy to get kind of guided in the wrong direction. And we won an award through Yellow Pages Index Media recently for our marketing strategies.
How funny I say that. How funny I say that. The Yellow Pages play, and if you millennials don't know, and I'll call you guys millennials, but if you don't know what the Yellow Pages are, because we're so addicted to our iPhones, thank you very much. And the Yellow Pages were a big book that was phone number in them. So basically what Haley and Albert are trying to do is do the Yellow Pages for writers. And now, why would this book, I've been interested in asking Albert this question. So Albert, here's a question for you. Why would this book be taking sales of the traditional publishing field?
Well, so here's the deal with publishing. The way it's been done and the way it's being done have changed drastically. And the payout per author is pretty much the same since, the way back when. And even though our, cost for living and all that stuff has went up, their payout has stayed consistent, meaning you're making less per book. And nowadays, especially nowadays, authors can't live off of that. I know a lot of best-selling authors a lot of top sales authors that went through this. I went through this personally, and we can't live off of that. I know a lot of guys that have come to me, after we started a publishing company and said, are you guys still publishing? What are you guys doing? How much do I make? And, as a remedy, this book pretty much covers the fact of, and it's really not to deter anyone from traditionally publishing. I know a lot of people still want to go that route, and more power to them. Hopefully everything works out. But there's so much more avenues and resources and different chains they can use alone and on their own and get a higher effect and a higher volume per sales rate. And it's a fascinating introspect when you really look at it on how much you're really doing yourself a favor by taking matters in your own hands.
And honestly, guys, it's more creative control. Honestly, it's more creative control. Even though I want my next book to be picked up by a New York publishing agency. That is my dream. And yes, that is where my next book is going. If the agent throws me in the trash can, which I hope they don't, they threw me in the trash can twice already. Twice. Thank you very much. They said, happy writing and all this icky stuff. And so basically if they like your pitch, then they work with you. That's what I've quickly discovered on my own. But at the same time, even though I would like my book picked up by a New York publishing house, I don't care which one, I am giving up so much creative control that it's not even funny. Like, I will, in the vision of cover, I will shoot it to whoever I'm dealing with. Hopefully I get traditionally published. But, and then they will look at it and tell me, oh, this won't fit the audience. I know they will. Because I beat to a different drummer. And so I don't mind criticism, you guys, but man, agents are picky. Man, agents just want the nitty-gritty details in that query letter. My God. And I've been working on this query letter for, I would say, about, a good 3 months now. And so I'm happy that the Yellow Pages of Publishing is coming in my life because Elba and Haley have got something going here. And as soon as it's published, you guys, I'm going to get a copy. These guys promised me a copy. And all the Yellow Pages of self-publishing or the Yellow Pages of Publishing smack dab on my desk, and I'm going to be looking at it and using it as an encyclopedia. So, Kelly, what is your journey in self-publishing? And Albert, I'll ask you the same question. Or Albert, you had a question for me. Go ahead.
We, in the process of writing this book, we have talked to a lot of different authors and realized how different everybody's experience has been as far as just the writing process and then their journey to getting publishing. And so we were just really curious, how your experience was writing your books.
Well, all my books have been self-published via Create Space, Ingram Small Social Creative Wall, and all my books have been self-published. My first book, before I did my anthologies, which are still out there, and for those of you that don't know, anthologies are compiled by several different people. Let's say you have a group of 10 people, and I'm the main anthologist, and then they put a book together with different stories, women's empowerment, and I get picked because I am women's empowerment to the 10th degree. So I get picked all these anthologies. I don't do anthology work anymore unless it's a really good case. Because when you're in the anthology, the main author gets paid and then doesn't pay the rest of the authors, which is unfortunate. So that's why I don't do it anymore.
Right.
So, yeah. So that's why I don't do it anymore. But my experience, I am looking, as we record this interview, and I'm going to post this picture on Instagram, I am looking at when I did my first book, and when that book came out, I actually held a book signing for all my friends and family, and believe it or not, people actually showed up. And so my first experience has been wonderful, and I Come a Win still sells in droves to this day, and I wrote my autobiography at age 23. I have a couple other autobiographies out there, and I'm working on another one. I'm actually working on combining I Come a Win with another autobiography to make it longer and more sellable in August. And so my experience with self-publishing has been wonderful, but English books is a whole different cat than Create Space. I would personally recommend Create Space, even though they cut half their division of
Amazon did that.
Amazon, yeah. Even though they cut half their division, I am still a big champion of Create Space.
Yeah, we actually, that's actually one of our primary mottos. When Create Space was taken over when Amazon took them over and started gutting them, that was to kind of stop the last great Foo Fighter, per sense. Because what we do, we own Gladiator Publishing Company. What we do is a lot based off of the way they operate and the way they did things. And now they're so shelled. Like we've teamed up with companies like a New World app. They're one of the newer apps coming out, and they're a financial app. And these guys, I still use personally. Like they can cut your tax expenses down from they can cut off $4,800 in a year, which for any freelancer is like that saving money is where to go, especially when you're first starting out. And they've created this great app, and they've teamed up with us, and they're really driving hard with us to push, so any writer, out there that's still freelancing, get a New World app. Go to ANOO.world, and their app is the best I've ever used. I still use them today. And I also team up with Sublime Capturing Photography. They do all of our artwork. And these are just people who are, they're experts in their field. They're creative geniuses, and they notice the issue in our division, in our industry. Same problems, you ran into, publishing your book, and they're so behind us, just like Shanae over at Sublime Capturing. She runs it, and she is an art guru, and she's been literally hounding me to let her help. I guess. And, once she jumped on, we were all bored. She actually took us to a whole new level, and we got a lot more eyes on us. And she has done a lot on our websites and on our book itself. But what we do per se is not just as a company, but within the book is everything that you ever need, possibly, not just as a publishing, not just as a writer, when you're going to pick an editor, to understand how editing works, to query an agent properly, which agencies are more likely to take you, why they don't answer, and a lot of times why they get thrown out. And it's like reasons like that. It's good to have that knowledge in your back pocket. Good to have that ace in your hole. It's one the books already won awards, and we're just now starting the pre-sale. We'll release the pre-sale again.
Excited to get a copy of this book because I am so curious as to why agents threw me out in the trash can, why agents didn't like my book, and I am going to get to the bottom of this mystery, hopefully with the yellow pages of publishing here. And I am going to tell you guys why agents didn't like my book and why I'm starting all over again. This book has been edited. This book now twice has been edited, and we've only done the query letter once, and I am going to let Albin and Haley read my query letter before I start.
Yeah, that was one of the main things. When we started the process of researching for Literally Lost, query letters is a huge thing that we talked about, and how many books do just get kind of tossed out by agents, and so that's something that we researched, and that's something that's actually in the book is from actual agents, what they're looking for in a query letter, what makes them want to pick that one, and what they're looking for in a book. And then their top reasons why they do toss them out. And as an editor, oh my gosh.
I'm going to let you guys read my query letter before I start clearing agents, because I'm seriously going to use the yellow pages of publishing here, and I'm going to seriously let these guys read my query letter, because right now it's like, what am I doing? What am I doing? I want to be picked up, but I have a big fear that agents will throw me in the trash can again.
So here's the deal with agents. Agents are agents realize they're becoming more valuable, and I know this because I was an agent at one time for a very, very short period of time. I'm also a top-selling author traditionally, and Haley's, she's a renowned award-winning editor. So, I mean, we've been in this business I've been in this almost going on 16 years now. She's been in for, Jesus, since dirt was dirt. And, so what we learned about the query world and learned about the editing world and learned about the agent world is that they're starting to realize their value and the importance that they have, especially with the ever-growing social media. Now, social media is putting that information, their information in your hands, and it's kind of making them like the golden gods sort of play. Now, a standard they took was make themselves a little bit less available. That way, their price and their value drives up higher. Now, that also dents and damages the literary world. And Literally Lost, our book, actually combats that. I mean, we've caught a lot of guff, a lot of issues for just writing this. I mean, we've had threatening letters, but bring it on. We have nothing else to do, and since we even started that, we use nothing but the tactics in that book in our own company, and we're actually ranked number 1 in the state of New York. And that's through Dex and YP and all these other companies are recognizing us, and we've been invited to the American Library Association annual. We're on expo there. We're also going to be at the New York City Rights Fair and the National Education Alliance Association. And so we're going to be in New York, New Orleans, and also Minneapolis. Just for this book and the impact that they know it's going to have. And there's a lot of people behind us and a lot of people against us, but as far as the agents and stuff like that, they're always going to be out there. They're always going to be harder to get to, and that's just the nature of the beast. The easier it is to grab them, the harder they're going to make it to grab. Because if they're easier, they're going to be cheaper. The harder, they're a little bit more, a little bit more refined, a little more delicate, and that's kind of the stand they took. And business-wise, it's smart. It's a genius way to do it, from a business standpoint, because we are publishers and we are also agents in our own publishing company. So I understand it, but as an author and Haley as an editor, we don't agree with it. And that's kind of what we do, is combat that.
Nope. I don't agree with it. And one of my query letters said at the bottom of it, after they rejected me, thank you very much, happy writing. And I'm thinking, happy writing? Oh, you just picked a fight with a large person by putting those two words in a rejection with a happy writing. How could you be happy after someone said no to your to your blood, sweat, and tears? And you spent time and effort and using silly thank you very much, Siri, because that's how I write my book, and people know that. And so I spent blood, effort, and time typing this book into Siri, making it perfect, and they go, happy buying the rejected, we want to throw you in the trash can. Oh,
Yeah.
that drove me nuts. Like, there's no small. That drove me nuts. So,
Yes.
Anyway, what is your favorite success story that you have worked on without saying the client's name? Or you can say the client's name. I don't care.
Actually, for me personally, and I won't say his name because he's not quite finished yet, something that we love to do here, we're very passionate about. We love to coach authors. And we've been very fortunate and have had a couple of new authors come to us when they were first starting their book. And now they're both almost finished and they're almost there. And actually we took these two on for nothing. But it brings us so much joy. We were fortunate enough early in our careers to find some people that were just, great professionals and great talent and kind of steered us in the right direction. And it's really just been fun and so rewarding to see the progress that these two men have made. And now they're both almost ready to publish their first book. It's just so awesome to see the growth and the creativity that comes from, that first experience. And it's so fun. And that is one of our favorite things to do. And that's been a great experience. So their book should be coming out here hopefully within the next 6 to 8 months. And that has been for me, I think, what's made me feel the most successful and brought me the most joy in this business. It's so rewarding.
That's wonderful. And Albert, what about you?
We've done, I mean, we published a lot of books, and I want to say, and it's going to sound, I guess, kind of cliche. It's not meant to be, I promise.
Okay.
I say it's going to be this one, Literally Lost. It wasn't just us. It was a huge team effort. We had a lot of people on it, and I probably did the least amounts of actual guiding on it. I'm just a word guy. I'm just an ink slinger. I'm a writer by trade.
Good guy, ink slinger. Yeah. They call me pen for hire is pretty much what I am. And when we got brought on, when they asked me to come on board and kind of head the team and try to help out the creativity part of it while Haley headed the research, the group we had is fantastic. We've had guys come out as top sellers. I'm myself as a top seller, and the only thing our main goal is to use only what we learned, which is a lot more difficult than you realize. Because I come from a marketing background, and I love marketing as well. I do a lot of executive consulting. Right now, especially for like LinkedIn and stuff like that. I love working with them, and it's been an insane journey to throw away everything you do to replace it with something you're not too sure will work. And it's actually worked out. Like throwing spaghetti against the wall. It's like throwing spaghetti against the wall.
Exactly that. And it's fantastic how amazing it turned out and how into place every piece fell. And it's kind of a revelation in a sense. It changes you as a person to see the missed opportunities that others have, because I've read some great books, some amazing books. And I'm like, why was this not bigger? And people can say, oh, it's the cover, oh, it's this, oh, it's that. Honestly, it's just the marketing. It's just, it's just the bare necessity of someone didn't know something. So, in Literally Lost, we put it all in front of you. So there's no excuses. Now it's literally your word against someone else's. Because that's exactly what the market is. It's a battlefield. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a battlefield. And what people don't understand, and then I'll get to where can people find you, and then you guys can ask me a couple questions about my books, Kelly. Yeah. And what people don't understand, it's like going into World War II, and what I did not understand is I'm taking on a full-on second job. I thought, I'll just publish a book and let it sit there. Oh, no. what did my book do? It hit #1 on Amazon. Probably 72 hours after I published it. And it's like, oh no, I'm taking on another full-time job. And that's what people don't understand. And that's what people don't understand. And I call myself a professional writer because I have to, even though it's pennies, I still have to fill out the $42 on taxes. So I am a professional writer. I have declared myself a professional writer, and I never thought I would be taking on a full-time job.
Absolutely.
And most professional writers have to do that today because of just how rough it is out there, and it's an understandable trait. I mean, if it wasn't for the publishing company we run, I don't even know where we'd be financially. Because my book, even though I've been on top, we were on top of Amazon for a while, and we sat there and had some good credentials to our books, but it eventually just stops, and it's a crazy beast, and it's a crazy market, and it's an animal, and these young cats coming in, they don't know. They have no idea the battle they're in for and the war, that they have in front of them, and it's a rough concept for people to wrap their heads around, and it gets rougher and rougher every year. Just last year,
it is.
It's 500,000 books last year were self-published, just self-published, 500,000.
Really?
And that's not including traditional.
Wow.
That's not including the vanity. And that's the saturated market. They talk about holding hostage. That's the one. And it's as long this book, Literary Lost, kind of just it gives you that one extra edge. It doesn't matter if you're brand new to the game or you've been a veteran for years, because I've been doing this for almost 16 years, and I just learned so much more that makes us so much more effective and lethal in a market. To where we've won awards from it, and then I've won awards just for my marketing strategies based off this one book. Yeah. And it's insane. Insane.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. And I will post a picture on Instagram as soon as the yellow pages of book publishing comes to my house. I can't say it's for sale yet, but it's in the pre-orders, you guys. And as I said, I'm getting one of the first copies. It doesn't have to be autographed, you guys. You know that. But I just want to be one of those champions that supports you. So, Haley, where can people find you guys, and how can people submit to you guys if they want to work with you?
Our publishing site is gladiatorpublishing.com. And then for the book, we have literarylost.net. And through there, you can do pre-orders and just find information about the book and some bonuses that we put together that we're offering for pre-sales. But there's a contact us through gladiatorpublishing.com for anybody that's interested in working with us or just has any questions that they want answered. That's the way to reach us. Yep. Our emails are listed through there.
You may be finding a podcaster to an author wanting advice, wanting to submit. Hint, hint, a manuscript that I haven't told people about. Hint, hint.
That would be awesome.
I've been hinting at this children's book for a couple months now, and I think that you guys are the publishing house of choice. So we're going to talk offline because I'm a huge fan of you guys and Gladiator Publishing and Gladiator, the yellow pages of publishing. Here we come. I mean, we're changing the world. We're changing the world one book at a time, and that's all I'll say about that.
That's right.
And for those of you who bang to a different drum, come bang to a different drum with us. For those of you who still believe in the traditional publishing industry, you can go take a hike. You can turn off this podcast now and go take a hike. I don't care. I'll just leave it at that. So, Haley,
We love it.
what questions do you have for me about my book industry? Because I know that's where Albert wanted to steer you, and Albert, you can jump in here too.
It's such a journey, and for these young writers, especially because you've been there and you've been through it, more than once. What advice would you offer to those new writers that are just getting started?
Oh my God. You asked me to think that's my younger self. Okay, I had money at the time, so don't use your friends and family as your editor, because they will give you what I like to coin the I love you syndrome, and then you're publishing the book, and then you still have the I love you syndrome in a book. And even though my dad reads my work after it's edited, he still gives me the I love you syndrome. I'm like, Dad, you're not supposed to give me the I love you syndrome. And the I love you syndrome is, I love you. There's nothing bad with this book. I love you. And I'm like, Dad, you're not supposed to give me the I love you syndrome. You're supposed to tell me what's bad about this book so I can fix it. But
exactly,
he still gives me the I love you syndrome. So don't use your family as editors, because then you'll turn into the I love you syndrome. And then when you put it out to your new fan base, I'm using air quotes here, with the I love you syndrome, your new fan base will not recommend your book because it has too many I love you syndrome errors in it. And so please either use the Yellow Pages of Publishing when it comes out, or please, how I found my editor is using the Freelance Editors Association. Please use that and get me or get Haley or get someone to look over your manuscript. Don't hand it to your family first run. Hand it to your family last run, which I always do. So that would be my advice.
Yes, and I think that is the best advice you could possibly give.
Yeah.
My family's the same way.
No matter how long we'll be in this industry, family's family, and it's wonderful, but they give you the I love you syndrome, which doesn't help.
Yes. Besides just that part, just throughout your writing process, what did you find the most challenging?
Well, Siri's been out for several years now. I was using her on a iPhone, and iPhone number 2, I think, and I still have the original manuscript of I Come a Win in my phone, and I used Siri long before she was who she is now. So I am the original adapter to Siri, and long before speech dictation in the writing field was a thing, to counteractivate carpal tunnel, which I know is a huge disease, and in the writing field. And so I'm one of those people that bangs to a different drum. I use Siri because I can't type due to a physical disability. When I type it looks horrible.
Yes. And that's a whole other thing, all the software that's available.
Yeah.
That people just don't know about, and there's so much software that's so beneficial and so affordable.
And I'm trying to Dragon Naturally Speaking set up on a laptop. I need you guys to get a cheap pair of headphones. That's on my next to-do list, is to get a cheap pair of headphones so I can set up Dragon Naturally Speaking on PC, and if you guys want to send me a cheap pair of headphones, by all means do, but I'm not asking my family to do that. But people don't know about the power of speech text.
Yes.
No, they don't. And they don't know about Dragon Naturally Speaking. They don't know about Siri. Siri is the best thing on the planet. And no, Apple doesn't sponsor this podcast by any means. I wish it would. But Siri just comes right out of the box and turn her on and dictate away.
Right. And, we were surprised because when we really started researching for the software part, it was stuff we hadn't heard of. And we're like, where's the advertising? We could have used this 2 years ago. Where was it? We didn't know about it.
Hello? Yeah, hello. They don't tell you that Siri could write books. Now, the moment I say that, someone from Apple will be listening to this podcast. I know they will. And so I want to be a big champion of Apple and have Siri write books for people. Get those books on paper, you guys. Quit saying to me you want to write a book, and quit saying to Haley I want to write a book, and quit saying to Albert I want to write a book, because we're all here to help you. No excuse whatsoever.
Absolutely.
No excuse whatsoever. And you guys, I would love to thank Haley and Albert for coming on and sharing the book and talking about the industry in general, and talking about all the good, the bad, and the ugly, and I'll be one of their supporters, and of course they'll be one of my supporters. And please go pre-order that book. And as I said, I'll be posting the yellow pages of publishing on Instagram as soon as I get it. And please leave a review for any self-published book you find. All that does is helps with the algorithms, and I'm sure these guys are going to be self-publishing this book. Or you guys going to be self-publishing this book, please say the yellow pages of publishing is going to be self-published.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So please leave a review for the yellow pages of self-publishing, because that makes the Cookie Monster in Amazon very, 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 very happy, and shows it to more people. And please leave honest review for my book, I Come a Win, because that also makes the Cookie Monster in Amazon very, 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 very happy and gets me more sales. And of course, I'll be working with these guys on my next children's book, and I'll be skinning the yellow pages of self-publishing, and it's all going to be a fun ride in the self-publishing field with Miss Wynn here, because I'm always a lifelong learner, you guys. You guys know that. And I taught myself how to podcast. I'm now teaching myself how to edit with help, because now I'm getting naturally trained in podcasting. But I taught myself how to self-publish a book with no knowledge of what I know now. And so please, if you want to self-publish a book, please use the yellow pages of publishing before you do anything. These guys put in the research, and we want to support these guys. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's great marker for it, too. I'm not sure. But yeah. Well,
So amazing that she taught herself to do that.
that is great. That's what market.
But it's one of those things, I mean, you kind of do have to just dive in.
Yeah. You know, that's just after the fun. It's scary engaged to fight.
It is scary.
Oh, my.
Like we've learned, this is what we know, because, of this book.